MobiusSticks, and I'm here with
Mobius 0.
And today we are going to talk about a movie we just got done watching.
Took us long enough.
Well, seeing as it was put out like, what, 2 days ago?
Something like that.
We watched Zootopia. It's a wonderful Disney movie, and first thing I gotta say about it, it was so cute!
I enjoyed it. It was pleasantly surprising how good it really was.
And as usual, I will be talking about the characters, the acting, and the folly. And since Zero's never done this...
I will be commenting on whatever needs to be said that she missed out on.
Well, first thing I gotta say, that was a really good... And I've gotten a lot of comments saying that, oh my god, this is Furry's the movie! And I 100% wholeheartedly agree. Being
yeah, that's a pretty good assessment.
Being an ex-furry myself, I was very much anticipating how they did the anthropomorphic side of this. But I have to say, we really did enjoy it. Oh, we gotta go this way because there's the front there. So something I really liked about this movie was the jokes. I have to give myself a little speech on the jokes because we just talked about this. I was so mad we didn't have our camera on. And the jokes, I thought a lot of them were on point. The obvious ones were obvious and hilarious, the hidden ones were subtle, and only the adults got it, and the adults were laughing their asses off.
This was one of those times where I haven't been to a theater with kids and adults in the same time in a while. And I go to see a lot of movies. So this was actually a really, really pleasant surprise that kind of brought me back to my youth. So I'm pretty happy about it. It's a good movie. It's really surprising.
Well, the jokes in here were really funny. They were really on topic. There was one joke that I absolutely loved because it was poking fun at itself. But Mobius doesn't agree with me.
I found it a little kind of a grind as to, oh God, they had to bring that up.
We'll just say that it was a joke about Disney.
And then it was just a little too much. But there were some decent fourth wall jokes that I really liked. There was, and Frozen fans will find a few of them. It's just one of those things kind of took me out of it a little bit. And yes, I do love jokes. I'm a guy who loved the Deadpool movies, so don't put me in some kind of a stickler for comedy.
And I love the movies. I love like the little itty bitty jabs they put in there. For those of you who watch Breaking Bad or did watch it, I don't know if it's done yet. But those of you who did watch it, you will get it right away. It made me laugh even though I've never watched it. The Godfather, there were jokes in The Godfather.
There was a bunch of those. Jason Bateman. It was really, anyone could really play this character. But I was really happy at how he did in this film. And he does a pretty good movie. I like Jason Bateman, and I really like his comebacks and his fast humor. I'm kind of curious, even though it's animation, it's kind of hard to outlive animation, but some of his quips are a little too fast to be written. At least that's from my point of view. So I really enjoy it. He did a little bit of improv. It's nice to see that, they got away with it. It did look pretty good.
Well, the thing is, if you're going to be doing an improv scene, for me, if the screen says something and people go on improv, you kind of have to play off of it. And the way you play off of it was pretty good if there was improv. Yeah. Especially with the dialogue between Hops and...
A lot of our leads dialogue.
Well, even the second tier.
Really fast, and they do a really good two-man act together. So I'm really hoping that we're going to see more of them in other films.
What I really hope that happened is that they put them in the same room, so you guys just make as many animal puns as you can about each other and just let it rip. We will take whichever ones that we like. That's what I really hope that happened, because the way that the speed in which they just bounced off of each other was phenomenal. And even with them in different characters.
And just some of and especially everyone else, hearing Alan Tudyk's voice, is always a pleasure. Even if his role is kind of minor, it's really refreshing to see.
He played
To see
Lionheart, right?
no, Alan Tudyk was
Oh no.
the Weasel.
Oh yeah, he only had a couple scenes,
Yeah,
but they were really fast and they were really funny.
and you can tell it's Alan Tudyk just doing his Alan Tudykness. And
Who played Lionheart? Because I know him. I love him. If anybody who knows me knows I loved him in Portal, but I can't think of his name right now.
you might want to. Well,
It was like TJ something.
you have to give me some time.
You guys get to yell at me.
Relax. You guys get some time to relax. We just got out of the theater. I gotta go to work. So my head's kind of in the clouds a little bit. Even though we did stick around for the credits and we did go through the cast call. Kinda. The names do kind of.
If we're saying something wrong, you be free to yell at us in the comments below. I give you permission to yell at us, say, no, you're wrong, you're a horrible person, this movie sucked balls. No, I will actually yell at you if you say that. I will yell right back at you if you say that.
Again, beyond probably whatever else to say, the movie is really good. And I. It's kind of keep repeating myself, mostly because I'm trying to think here on the. Trying to think on the fly here when I'm talking about it. The lighting and the environments were so vivid. Everything was colorful, bright, but not like
The
a
environment
little
is the
kid with a
environment.
crayon kind of colors. Everything just looked so good and very creative. The designs and the sets that they used for the animation were really good, and the way that they travel, how the city actually works is so creative. Even though we've seen things like this before in other animated films, it's just really nice to see that it's not as cookie cutter as those. And the music was decent. The music was really good. Once again, the movie really did surprise me just at a level.
Are you just talking about the soundtrack, or are you actually talking about the songs that were played?
The actual compositions, the actual compositions of each scene, the action sequences, the subtle,
And the not
stealth
so subtle.
scenes,
And the not so subtle radio scene.
the not so subtle radio scenes. It really did help out a lot for this movie to give it some lived-in feel. And the comedy is so great, and the way that it's over the top and down to earth at the same time, it really does make great pairing. The two leads are just hilarious, and the supporting cast is really good.
Okay, because I know he's going to go on a tangent. I'm going to stop him there. Because, as usual, I always talk about the foley. If you don't know what foley is, you should probably learn by now. But foley is the sounds that you hear around during the environment. I love foley. Foley is stuff that's as simple as a kiss. The sound of a kiss that makes, the sound of a punch, the sound of walking, the sound of biking. And in this movie, they had a lot to work with because you had the heavy stomping of elephants, you had the hoof clops, you had paw prints, you had scratching, you had a lot of stuff that you had to work with. And I think they touched base really well, playing with hair, playing with fur, playing with all of this stuff. The subtle nuances are amazing.
And the various sounds, especially about feet moving, and it really does help that every footstep is heard, and they're all different tones and different types of sounds. And that could have been, they could have easily have gone and just kind of whitewashed over that with a single track, but this is more or less a high budget film, so they can get away and put some extra money, extra effort, some extra creativity into the varying sounds, speeds, and weight of each character, which was really surprising because I just got done watching a nut job. God.
Well, we're not talking about the nut job. We're not talking about Disney DreamWorks. Remember, we're not sponsored by Disney. We're not sponsored by DreamWorks. All of these are our opinions, what we say. Any sounds you hear around us are not sponsored by anybody. We are actually walking around to the sound of nature. So, nature, if you want to copyright us, bring it on. Actually, that'd be really weird if Mother Nature came. No. Back to the movie. So, all in all, for me, Movie was amazing. There was like maybe one spot, but I can't even think about it because it would be basically nitpicking. And but otherwise, I absolutely adored every single second of it. I only jumped once.
Getting all the cop cliches and all of the animal cliches, it's still making them fresh but just fun at the same time. Really tough to do for.
Well, they even talked about this when they were making the movie. They said that they were going to have the exposed animal cliches and then twisting them on his head. So you have like the rage of a bull. Captain Bogo was a water buffalo,
Yep.
and
Hey,
he was delicate. There were some scenes where he was delicate. He really didn't look delicate. He was, by all means, not delicate in the least. But the way that you have to handle technology, it was very delicate.
the elephant in the room joke was so. But I was waiting for it to happen, and
Everybody knew the elephant in the room joke. Come on, man.
yeah, then you saw the trailer. It was anyone seeing the trailers, and they know the joke. But
The,
it's
the most rewarding joke for
I
me.
I was not. There wasn't any times really, aside from the one, aside from earlier in the review that I mentioned this, but there weren't very many jokes in the movie that made me scratch my head in annoyance.
The one joke that I think was the most fulfilling. Flash, flash, 100-yard dash. Nobody will get that joke until well, you get the joke if you see the trailers, but you don't actually appreciate the joke until you watch it in theaters. It makes everything much more beautiful.
Yeah, that one did kind of shock me a little bit. And that was,
I kind of anticipated it.
I was pants on head crazy laughing when that happened. So kudos to these guys. This was a really fun movie. If they make a sequel, please expand, make it bigger. This movie was like 2 hours long, almost.
Well, we hit the 12-minute mark, so we're going to go ahead and leave this off here. I'm going to make my own video on this later. Because there is some more that I do want to talk about about the movie. I encourage Mobius to do the same once he gets his break and actually chills out and watches the movie. Not rewatches. He watches reviews. I don't. Everything I say is opinionated. Everything he says should be factual, but it's still being opinionated. And yeah. So remember, have the best day that you want to have. We will see you in the next video, and have fun. Bye.
Bye.